Before you start, you need to open the handout in lesson 12 so that you can go through it with me. The formula that you'll need is listed in the handout. It is future value. So the FV stands for future value. It means the amount of money that will be in the account at the end of the period that you're looking at. And then P for principal, in other words, the amount of money that you're investing or that you're putting into an account. R is the yearly interest rate. N is the number of times it's compounded in a year. And then that N's the same. And then the T is the number of years. So that's what time is. So for the N's the hard part. And N will be 4 if it's compounded quarterly, because that's 4 times a year. N will be 12 if it's monthly. That's 12 times a year. N will be 1 if it's annually, because that's 1 time per year. Semi-annually is a 2, because that's twice a year. Let's see, I think that's all you would have. But you just need to keep in mind that that N represents the number of times it's compounded in a single year. Really good. So the first example that we have says if you deposit $4,000 into an account paying 6% annual interest compounded quarterly, how much money will be in the account after 5 years? So you need to make sure that you understand what goes where. So we're looking for future value, because that's the amount in the account at the end of the time. The principal in your formula is $4,000. So 4,000 times 1 plus the interest rate is 6%. We always change that to decimals in this formula. So 0.06, 2 places to the left. Compounded quarterly. So N will be a 4, because quarterly means 4 times per year. So we're going to put the 4 also here, and it's 5 years. So we're going to do 4,000 times 1 plus 0.06 over 4 raised to the 20th power. Now, you have to be very careful when you do this on your calculator. So I'm going to pull up the calculator, and we're going to look at it so that you get the correct answer that you need. So let's take a look at the calculator, and what you're going to do is you're going to do the thing that's in parentheses first. So you're going to do 0.06 divided by 4 first, and then hit enter, and then plus 1, and it's raised to the 20th power. So the symbol on your calculator is this little arrowhead looking thing. That's for exponential. So you'll hit that. That puts it to the 20th power. Hit enter, and then multiply it by 4,000. That's how we will get our answer. So then we hit enter, and we get $5,387.42. So, and that represents the amount of money that will be in the account at the end of the 5-year period. Example 2 on that sheet is just like this one, except it is compounded monthly, so the N will be a 12 instead of the 4 that we had before. If you scroll on down, though, to example 3, it says how much money would you need to deposit, so it's looking for something different. In that formula, the P is the part that you would be looking for in this problem. So the P is the amount of money that's deposited. So we don't know what that is. It says in order to have $12,000 in the account after 6 years, and it's compounded monthly. So $12,000 is what's in the account after 6 years. We don't know the P. We do know the interest rate in that one is 9%. Yeah, it is compounded monthly, so that's a 12, because that's 12 times per year. So the 12 also goes here, and it says it's 6 years. So this is what we have so far. We have the 12,000.
Okay, yeah.
We have 1 plus 0.09 divided by 12 raised to 12 times 6 is 72. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to isolate this part first and get an answer for it. So I'm going to take my calculator and I'm going to do that. So I'm going to clear out what I have from the last problem. Let's go here and clear that. And then let's see, we're going to do the 0.09 first, divided by 12, enter, plus 1, enter, and we're going to raise it to 72. And then we're going to hit enter. And this is the answer that I get. So this is what would be beside the P. So let's see. So if I round on that one, what I have now is P times 1.71. And I've just rounded. Now, in order to get the P by itself in algebra, what you have to do is you have to divide by the number sitting beside the letter. So you would take your calculator and type in 12,000 divided by 1.71. So let's see, 12,000 divided by 1.71. Now let me say a quick word about this. If I round this differently, if I had put the whole number in there that the calculator had given me before, if I'd kept it in my calculator, those types of things, I'm going to get a slightly different number. But because I rounded, this is the answer that I get. 7,017.54. Now, if in my open math it tells you to keep everything in the calculator or round everything to the nearest tenth or whatever, you have to do what it tells you to do, or you will not get the answer that they're looking for. It will be slightly off, maybe as much as dollars it could be off. So you want to make sure that you're following what they give you. If it's something that's multiple choice, like a quiz or something, you want to pick the answer that's closest to what you have, because it just means that you rounded differently than whoever worked the problem. So make sure that you're doing that. So let's go back and look at our problem now. So this is the answer here that I got on my calculator. And let's see if that makes sense. What it's saying is if I had this money and I put it in an account and I kept it in there for 6 years, compounded monthly, I would end up with $12,000 in the account at the end of the 6 years. That's what it's telling me. So that's what that question is doing for me. Now, there are 2 problems at the end of the page. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post the work for those. They'll be done like one of these problems that I have. If you notice, the answer to example 3 on your handout is $7,007.08. And they rounded differently than I did. They put 1.0075 in for the 0.09 divided by 12, and then they put, instead of 1.71 next to the P, they put 1.712552707. So you can see that your answers will be slightly different if you put different numbers in there.